All right, everybody. I'm here with Lucas Johnson. Lucas, what did you do today?
I went X2 with Exosister, getting 17th place at the Indianapolis regional today on September 3rd.
All right. Do you have any shout-outs before you went?
Definitely shout out Pizza Hut, most ambitious channel at getting subscribers. If you're
Absolutely.
watching this and not subscribed, you should consider subscribing. Otherwise, he'll search you out, find you out, and make you subscribe.
Also, you should subscribe. So let's get on with the deck profile. Yeah. All right. So what do we got here?
We got Exosister monster. So this is standard ratio. We got the 3 Martha.
Okay.
This is what basically made the deck competitive. Before Martha, it just wasn't really a deck that was on the map. She basically lets you 1 card XYZ. She summons Ellis from the deck, which is another really good extender, but unfortunately this only summons from the deck, so if you run out of Ellis, you don't do Martha. Yep. This is Stella. She's the one that lets you summon 1 from hand. She's really cool. She has they both work with each other. So these two, usually a lot of the Exosisters mention another one, and they have like a bonus effect if you summon them and have it. So like if this one summons or this one summons their other control, you gain 800 life points. Just free gains. Pretty cool. 2 Sophia. If you control another Exosister, you just draw for free. It's pretty cool. And if you control the Irene, you gain 100. And she's just kind of the same thing. Draw 1, but you have to bottom deck an Exosister card for cost, and then get 100 if you have the Sophia. So this is a standard ratio. It's fine. Like,
yeah, I was going to ask you, is the
realistically, you just want to see Martha or potentially like one of these two and another one.
Yeah. Okay. So this monster ratio is pretty standard.
This is 100% standard.
Okay.
Yes. At first I was trying 2 Irene because I was like, oh, I want more names, and then I kept drawing this card, and I realized, oh, these cards actually don't do anything by themselves.
Yeah.
So that's standard. It's a pretty consistent deck. I only bricked like realistically once or twice, so I think that's pretty good. Because this deck does not use the graveyard, we play 3D Shifter. I resolved it a few times today. It's pretty busted when you do. The card is nuts. It's not as good as in like Flunder, where you can like banish it with like Stree and then add it back or whatever, like Mega Riser or whatever, or stack it. So, but still crazy. And then the 3 Ash. Gotta play Feed Ash. It's an unspoken rule that every Exosister player has to play this version. So,
absolutely.
Yep. Even though I have Secret First Ed, Maximum Crisis, I have to play Feed Ash.
So your hand traps are literally D-Shifter and Ash.
And Imperm.
Oh, and Imperm.
We're getting there.
Okay.
For spells, we play the 3 packs. This is a Rhoda for any Exosister card, not just the monsters. It's really cool in that respect. It's a quick play, but only during the main phase. It has the bonus effect that if you control the other listed name in the field or grave, you can special summon it instead of just adding it for the monster. That's really cool. For spells, continued, we have 3 Prosperity. You have to play this deck with Prosperity. It's not consistent without it. Extravagance is just too risky otherwise. Yeah, so Prosperity is just the way to go. I was doing Banish in 6 a lot to try to see either Pax or Martha. So,
okay.
As per the format demands, we play 3 Dark Ruler. Good card in general. Gotta play it. The spicy staple, that was not staple, but the spicy card I was playing that just helped me win so many matchups that I probably could have done it a little bit. It would be a lot harder without, is Necro Valley. So we have the 3 Necro Valley. Basically, no card can negate any card that would move in the graveyard. A card in the graveyard can be banished. So against Tyrell Elements, they literally cannot out this card. They have 0 way unless they've made Kaleido Heart already. That's otherwise they're pretty much only out as like basically polymerization into like a Kaleido Heart or something, or a Guardian Chimera if they still play that. So against Sprite, it hits like Elf, Smashers, the Frog, so it's alright. It's not as good against like other random decks. It just like randomly hits. Like against like, I played against some random rogue decks today, and this still put in work. Like Mathmech was getting pretty cucked by this. And then just the 1 Called By. This deck doesn't really need Called By, but the fact that all the main deck Exosister monsters, they all have the effect that never goes off. That if your opponent moves a card out of the graveyard, either graveyard, you can basically 1 card XYZ with them. Your opponent has to do it. Martha has the same effect, but either player moves a card out of the graveyard. So you can trigger it with like Martha, with like Called By, DD Crow, but I don't play DD Crow, but it is an option. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The best thing you can do is, we'll get to it later. We'll get to the traps. We play 3, so these are usually 2 ofs in most profiles I've seen. And honestly, I could go down to 2 Vadis, but returning is just so nuts. I feel like I just want to see this card always in my opening hand, so I don't have to necessarily search it off Micallus. So this basically banishes 1 in field or grave, targeting, then has a bonus effect to either XYZ with ones you control, or non-targeting banish a card they control. and then that's like, so if you already like, basically there's ways to execute someone on your opponent's turn, and then you just like banish one and then non-target banish another one. Like that's crazy. Vadis is basically like the gear. If someone's 2 from the deck, locks in Exosisters. It's a really good way to like if you chain it to like an effect that would move a card in the graveyard, you can then summon 2, and then they will both trigger in the next chain link to both 1 card XYZ, and that's like crazy. So that's how you get realistically get their effects off the 1 card XYZ is with Vadis. Otherwise, most people like aren't going to unless they have to, you know. And then just 3 imperms. So just 9 hand traps. It's honestly fine because like this format's kind of weird with hand traps. Like I still want some, and but when you have cards like D-Shifter, like D-Shifter is like a 1 card like really good hand trap against a lot of decks. So it's a 40 card main.
Okay. Now I've seen some people playing the continuous spell.
Yeah.
Almost acts like a prohibition.
Yeah,
Are you siding that, or?
I am siding it. It's more for like floodgates, Mystic Mine. There's another one called Armament. It's a quick play spell. You can basically target one you control and 1 card XYZ with it. It's kind of cool, but the only downside is that if you can't activate it on your turn unless your opponent controls a monster summoned from the graveyard.
Okay,
so
you
because
like siding it.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't play that one. It's just too slow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was playing it because I saw a lot of builds playing 1, and it just every time I drew it, it never did anything. So I was just like, why even play the card? So that's when I decided to cut the continuous spell and the other one, and then bump the traps up to 3.
Sounds good.
So that's main deck.
Yeah, let's get on to the extra deck.
Sure. We have the 3 Michaelis. This is the best one of the deck, or extra deck, I should say. It's basically detach, search for any spell or trap card, which, again, all the spell and trap cards in the deck are really good. And then it has the effect that if it's XYZ summon that turn, you can quick effect target one in their field or grave to banish. So, like, you can, like, summon this. Like, against, like, Tears is, like, nuts. You, like, summon this, and then you go effect the search, and then you, like, chain, like, Sullen, and you just chain the effect to banish the Sullen. It's like best interaction ever. Or you can like if it's Dragon Spell, like banish your Dragon Stapella. Stuff like that. So really cool. Really good stats too. 2500, 1800. Then we play the 2 Caspatel. This is the Monster Searcher. Also mandatory effect on someone to basically Royal Prison, or neither player can summon monsters from their graveyard for the rest of the turn. So if you can like summon this on your opponent's turn, like that's pretty cool against like some decks. But usually if I'm going for like one of those, it's not Michaelis, I'm going for the Asophil. Asophil on summon basically Abyss Weller for both players, and that's like really crazy against a lot of graveyard decks. And then it has the effect to detach to target basically I think 1 monster and bounce it to the hand. It's like whatever. Mostly just for the effect to Abyss Weller. And then the Gabriel, this is how you OTK. Her effect is detach, give all XYZs you will control 800. So even XYZs you make later in the turn will still gain the 800. And then she has the effect that the turn she's summoned, kind of like Michaelis, you can target a monster effect monster they control and negates effects. Cool. It's a quick effect, so she's kind of cool. These are both one-ofs. I don't think you make these more than one in the game. I've never have. And then the 2 Big Chick, which she's cool. She on Dimension Force. She's like pretty cool. She takes 2 rank 4s to make. Can attack twice, which is really crazy, especially if you combine it with the gain 800. Non-detached, quick effect, non-target banish card they control. And then basically if they activate a card of effect, you can like basically XYZ summon with 1 below it. It's the simplest way to put it. So you can like banish a card and then XYZ summon the Michaelis, and then since this was an XYZ summon, you can like banish card. Or you can go into like one of these 2 and like floodgate them. It's pretty cool. So that's one way to actually summon on your opponent's turn, at the top of the other many ways.
Yes.
So that is that part of the Exosister extra deck, and then for the rest, we played the 1 Zeus. Never made it. There was one game I could have, and I accidentally Pot of Prosperity it away, so I lost that game. That was kind of stupid. I just got in the habit of banishing these like 6 cards, and
I was going to ask you what 6 cards were you normally banishing? So
these 6 Zeus like never really came up except for the one game that I did banish it, and I was like, well shit, because Martha's the best card. But she locks you into Exosisters. So Zeus usually never comes up unless you just don't Martha. Yeah. Or if they negate the activation, which is why I think what happened, he negated the activation. So I was like, oh, whoops. Yeah. All right, and then these are all Ghost Reaper targets. And obviously don't summon any of these. I wanted 2 for each of the meta decks. He's like the only problem for the deck, so I tried to... This never got Ghost Reapered. I think I Ghost Reaper... I didn't Ghost Reaper either of these. I never drew it against Tyr, but Tyr is already pretty much a guaranteed free win, so... But I still like want to have an option for Sprite. These are both good hits. I think I like hitting Gigantic more. A lot of people are on the more the Elf engine, but Exosister already answers Graveyard so much, so I feel like hitting their starter is way more important.
Right.
And then this is like if just for like on like a Punk deck, because like Punk's still a very relevant engine. So yeah, really all I did was I just hit this guy today, and it was really good every time I did it. So side deck, spoiler alert, play 3 Ghost Reaper. I just wanted a really good high. I was trying Ultimate Slayer. And Ultimate Slayer just felt really low impact. Even with like using cards like Entis and Trouble Sunny and stuff like that, it just felt really low impact. So I wanted a card that would really just like stop them from like comboing off hard, you know? And so this was really good. I didn't draw it at a bad time, thankfully. And like I said, I hit Gantic a couple times and it was very powerful. It's just, I think I lost one of those games that I just didn't have very much follow-up, but still strong. And then we play 3 Gozen. A lot of people are maining this, but it felt too slow, so I replaced it with Necro Valley, which felt way more stronger going first and second. Because going second, you can place down a Necro Valley against like tier limit, and then other boards like pretty much null.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Necro Valley probably sealed the deal for tier.
Against Sprite, it was even nice too because it like forces basically the elf right away, things like that. And it also turns out smashers, so they like force to deal with it right away. So this is a really crazy card. It's for Sprite and some other random decks. I flipped it on Flundery, so that was really funny because he no more Robina as the water. Flipped this, and then now he's locked in the waters. 3 Judgment for going first. Really strong card, except when you get red rebooted as well, so that kind of sucked. For going second, we do 3 evenly because the deck doesn't really need a battle phase or anything like that. So evenly is just really strong right now. The 1 reboot because it's so strong for like cards like this deck loses to like D barrier, loses to what's that? It's okay, man. Loses to deck devastation price. This deck it hits everything except for Martha. We do the 1 Feather Duster just for like kind of back rowish decks. They didn't really play against any, so that only went in like once or twice. And then we do the quick continuous. So this is really cool. This is a lot of like really cool applicable stuff you can do with this card. Basically, if you XYZ someone, you can declare a card, and basically it's like Call by the Grave or Cross Out. So negates it on the field, negates it everywhere. So you can use it to like negate Mystic Mine, you can negate like Nibiru, because Nibiru can be really strong if you try to go for the rank 8. And then when you attack, you can pop a spell or trap if you attack with an Exosister, and that's once per turn, so that's really cool too. And then it just has a random targeting protection effect from special 1 monsters, so that doesn't matter. I think that's pretty much it. It played really well.
Okay. What matchups do you remember?
Yeah, sure. I think I actually have a list. Sorry, Trevor. We'll answer you later. He's like, where'd you guys go? We don't care about you. So, okay. So my first 3 rounds, I started off 3-0. I played against Rogue all 3. So
here, let's just get a picture of that.
yeah, sure. If you wanted to see it.
Just look at
I did a little thing. Hey, you found us.
you all since nobody wants to answer the fucking phone.
Yeah, I don't want to answer.
Whoa.
Okay, so we played against Flunderies, we 2-0'd that. Played against Mathmech, we 2-0'd that. Played against Weatherpaint, we 2-0'd that. Sprite Adventure is kind of tough. I don't remember what happened that one, but I lost. Then I played against Branded Tier. That's pretty much free. Beat him. Played against Sprite Adventure Prunk. That one, he told me. Game 1, he Scythe locked me, which wasn't like a big deal. It was more that the fact that he still just had like Baron and then like follow up with the Brave cards, and then that was like pretty much. And then game 2, I went first. I had a pretty good board, and then he evenly red rebooted me, so that was kind of ripped. And then played against 2 Danger Tier Elements, again like free wins, so 2-0'd those. And then last round was the Sprite Punk Adventure again, which I was like, fuck, I'm gonna lose. Game 1, I had Ash Imperm, and that was like Anslayer's board, and I just had the nuts follow up. Game 2, we both kind of bricked, and he ended up winning that one, which was really funny. He set Cosmic Cyclone Pass and ended up winning. Because he hit my baddest that I set, and I set like 3. And then game 3, I went first, and he had red reboot, but really all he opened up was like adventure, like nothing really else to play the game. So I was easily able to answer that with just Magnifica alone. Yeah, so I went 7-2. Was hoping to get it top 8, but we'll get there next time. X2 is really nice, so that's like day 2 at Oasia, so that's kind of what I'm hoping to shoot for if I play this at Niagara.
All right. Well, thanks for the profile. Appreciate it. And once again, this is Lucas Johnson, who got 17th place at the Indianapolis Regional.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Dude, I've heard this before.
I know.